This episode of the AIXR podcast is brought to you by Zapper, the folks behind Mattercraft, the leading visual development environment for building immersive 3D web experiences for mobile, headsets, and desktop. Mattercraft combines the power of a game engine with the flexibility of the web, and now features an AI assistant that helps you design, code, and debug in real time, right in your browser. Whether you're a dev, designer, or just getting started, Mattercraft speeds up your workflow and brings your 3D ideas to life faster than ever. Start building smarter at mattercraft.io. Good morning, everybody. I'm Charlie Fink with Ted Shilowitz and Roni Abovitz for the AIXR podcast. It's Friday, November 28th, and we're going on episode 268. Good morning, guys.
Morning, Charlie. Morning,
Roni. Happy Turkey Day plus one.
It's our Black Friday episode, so every opinion we make today will be deeply discounted and probably incorrect because it's Black Friday podcast.
Don't we sing the Steely Dan song? I can't get that out of my head when I think about Black Friday.
Yeah, baby.
So there was news this week. I thought there would be no news and no point in doing a podcast, but of course we've got a great guest, David Jiang, who is the CEO of VITURE, which is the display glasses company that is a very hot emerging category. It turns your smartphone screen into a 200-inch high-definition television that floats in front of you, which is obviously a much more robust gaming experience than most people get on their devices. And I guess the sweet spot there is the Switch. We'll have David on. He's quite an entrepreneur, and they've been punching above their weight for a long time. So it'd be
it's a popular category. Our friends at XREAL have a similar product category, and a bunch of the consumer electronics companies now have these kind of screen extender type glasses which plug into your laptop or your phone or whatever, and they're handy. You and I take them on planes. I watch movies and stuff on a big screen. With my either VITUREs or XREAL. They're great.
Yeah, they call them video display glasses. Although I think VITURE, and we'll get some more detail again in a few minutes, but both VITURE and XREAL are trying to move in the direction of spatial. XREAL's been pushing on this for some time. Now we hear VITURE is doing the same thing. So it's evolving it's funny, Meta, as well as these display glasses companies are going to merge in the same space as competitors. Probably not exactly soon, but certainly over the next 2 or 3 years. So
yeah, these glasses start out as dumb glasses and then they start to get smart, right? Yeah. Because right now they're kind of dumb. You just plug them in and they reflect what you're seeing on a computer screen, but they're learning fast and watching what other companies are doing, and it's an emerging market.
What do you find a better movie watching, through your Vision Pro or through these?
Well, if my Vision Pro weighed a quarter of what it weighs, I would 100% take my Vision Pro on a plane and watch it. And I have done it, at the beginning when everybody was excited about it. I was one of those guys that was sitting in a seat and people were like, what does that guy got on his face? And I'm watching, basically an IMAX movie on my face. But even in a first class seat when you're reclined, the thing is so heavy and uncomfortable that after a while, you just don't want to wear it. You just fire up your laptop and watch it on that, So we've made our outreach to Tim Cook a number of times going, dude, you got to figure this out.
I think Tim Cook knows perfectly well what the problems are with that headset.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it's Black Friday. Let's just take a quick sec before we jump into the news. It's Black Friday. I've got a toy or a gift. Obviously, these display glasses run $500-$600, and as well as my gift of the holiday, which is from Casio of all companies, and it is an AI pet. It's an AI pet called Moflin. It's like a big hamster that sits in your hand, and it gets warm and it wiggles, and it's really.
You have it there?
I don't. I had to send it back. It's a $600 thing, and they gave it to me for a few weeks to try it out. I have to say, I really liked it, and I kept it on my desk. But it drove the dog insane.
What does it do?
It makes little meeping sounds, and it gets noises, to know you, and it snuggles into your hand. I really liked it. It did not fit well in my household, I have to say. My wife looked at me like I had really lost a screw when she saw me holding that thing. So I didn't mind sending it back, but I honestly think for people who live alone, for older people who might, crave that kind of affection, I think that it could be a real thing. I don't know. What do you guys have for Christmas? What's your
Charlie? Well, first of all, I saw one of those in the wild. I was at an AI conference last week in Hollywood, and one of the speakers had one, and it was sitting off to the side of her talk. And it started out as really cute because it kind of is aware and it moves a little bit and it looks like a little hamster. It's got a little tail. And then after a while, it makes these like little like noises, like these little sort of not beep. I don't know what you call them. Like little meeping noises. And it was super annoying. Like, cause it was quiet in the room and we're listening to her talk. And at the corner, there's this little like animal that isn't real going beep, 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 beep. And we're like, seriously? You're going to turn that thing off?
My dog couldn't wait to get its hands on that thing.
Yeah, no surprise.
Well, in that same category, there's the frozen snowman who is running around Disney parks apparently right now as an AI robot. And then even more importantly, there's this great video that's circling the web about Pikachu being chopped up into a kind of stir fry.
Yeah, I saw it. It's terrifying, actually.
Yes. Are Pikachu good to eat? Well, apparently inside of AI, they are. Mm-hmm. So let's jump on the news just for a hot minute. I mean, it's Thanksgiving. I don't know if you noticed, Ted, when Jane and I left LA yesterday morning, I have never seen the place so dead. There were no trucks on the 5. There literally was no one.
Yeah. We drove down south, and it normally takes us about an hour and a half to get where we do a Thanksgiving in Laguna. It took us about 45 minutes. Like it was great. It was like, it was the very and by the way, it was like 85 degrees. So I was sending texts to my friends going, it's shorts-giving because we can all wear shorts today.
Well, of course, LA, people always think of it as very warm in the winter. It is a desert climate, but what that means is it's 90 for 2 hours, but the rest of the time, you got to be wearing layers. By the time you got down there to cut the turkey in Laguna, it must have been chilling off pretty good.
It was chilly, but it was fine. Yeah.
Oh, could we take a moment to shamelessly plug the workshop that's going to be where all of us broadcast AI XR from in a few weeks?
Oh, in 2 weeks, we're going to be at the SynthB, I don't know what you're calling it, a symposium?
World headquarters, but it's called Intentions, Agents, and Beings, Gathering of the Bees 2026 Salon and Workshop.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating.
The Gathering of the Bees. Do I see a T-shirt in there, Roni?
There are T-shirts being prepared, yes. But it's the yearly end-of-the-year event is called the GOB, or Gathering of the Bees, and we hope this kind of philosophical workshop, and we're flying like luminaries like you guys and scientists and philosophers for a Chatham House morning, and in the afternoon, whatever you want to say on the AI XR pod. So that'll be kind of awesome.
I'm really looking forward to learning something there. I always feel desperately underinformed about AI, even though I study it every day. And what I found is everybody feels that way.
Well, this is much more of a humanistic approach, Charlie. First of all, you will enjoy South Florida. I'll be coming directly from the Middle East to South Florida. So that will be an interesting experience. I'll tell you guys all about it when I land. Wow. And it's going to be fun to be all together again.
Absolutely. Rarely are we together in the real. So jumping on some news stories before we get to David, Snapchat is going to hit 1 billion users before the first of the year.
It's incredible.
Crazy. Yeah.
How did they fail to make money? 1 billion users, and they're still hemorrhaging cash.
Yeah. Look, I was at their big Snap conference a few weeks ago, and I was like, boy, these guys are doing everything right except running a business. Like, they've got it all going on. They've got huge user adoption. They've got love for their product. They've got a buzz around it. They make the most interesting true XR MR device on the planet right now that actually functions and works well and has a future. But for whatever reason, Meta has figured out a way, maybe, because of Sheryl Sandberg or whoever, to figure out how to make money with an ad model like Google did, and Snap has yet to figure that out.
Why? Can I throw in there?
Why?
I'll tell you, I know Evan, he's a good guy, creative guy. They are trying to do things decently and with a sense of ethics and protecting their customers. And long ago, I think the other guys said, we're just going to make a lot of money. And I think when you hit the zone of how to make a lot of money in social media, there are all kinds of boundaries people start crossing. And look, if Snap was willing to cross those boundaries, they'd be making like 10 times more revenue. So it tells you something about their, sensibility, because they have a user base that they should be a multi-$100 billion company if they took advantage of that user base the way other people do.
It'd be interesting to talk
But I think
to
there's an ethic there, right? There's an intention.
Tim,
and
why
ethic
won't he
that
come on the podcast, Roni? You've asked nice a couple of times.
We should get. By the way, what's one of the funniest things of Evan's thing? He lists himself as I think chief product officer or VP product for Meta, CEO and founder of Snap, but like VP of product. It's because whatever they do, and I really like them because they are trying to do it right, and I hope the audience would realize it's a platform that is actually trying to not leverage you in the way that others do. But it looks like the audience maybe doesn't care. That's the sad part.
But the really interesting question is, if you're one of those initial VCs that invest in Snap, or any of those follow rounds and you put money into Snap, within that ethical curve, you're very happy that they're not Meta, but are you kind of unhappy that they're not Meta because you're the VC that put money into this? It's a very successful company. It's very aware in the world.
The whole point of going public was to let those guys cash out. So I think they're long gone. I don't think there are any venture capitalists long or any investors that are
staying in it. Interesting.
Well, they were the stock price was 83 and now it's $8.
Right, you're probably right. Yeah,
which is
shows
shocking.
You what I know.
Which is shocking. I mean, they're going to be the first true since Magic Leap, the first true see-through XR headset.
Yeah, and the device is good.
And I don't know. Hey, David Jiang, welcome to the AI XR podcast.
Hi, Charlie. Great to meet you.
Before you came on, we were bragging on your video display glasses pretty good. So,
okay, thanks so much.
We like them.
I think we did a good job of teasing your interview. But first of all, where are you in the world right now?
I'm in the Bay Area right now.
And VITURE is headquartered in the Bay Area now, right?
Yeah. So initially we headquartered in San Francisco, but right now we're in Cupertino right now. More peaceful.
And so VITURE is VITURE 5 years old or 6 years old?
Actually 4 years old. We incorporated at September back to 21. Yeah.
We met at CES in 2022. David didn't have a big booth. I just dragged him into a press room and he took out the VITURE glasses. And after experimenting with them and walking through CES in 2022, I wrote a story and said, this is going to be the year of video display glasses. And I may have been off by a few years, but do you think video display glasses are, we were talking about today's Black Friday, are VITURE and other video display glasses poised to break through this holiday season, do you think?
Yeah, of course. So I think this is the first year, not for VITURE, but for the entire industry, we are in Best Buy offline stores right now. So if you're in Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco, and many other metro cities in the United States, you're gonna find our glasses in Best Buy. So Best Buy is a great place for Black Friday and shopping seasons, and also we have a billboard on the Highway 101, very close to the Best Buy in San Carlos, and many people drive through and see, oh wow, there is display glasses on the Highway 101. So this is also the first time.
I've seen that billboard when I cut through the grapevine across. After I get my cherries at this cherry stand, then we get into that corridor on the 101 heading into San Francisco or Silicon Valley. It is a marker of Silicon Valley success that you have a billboard on the 101. Exactly. Now every billboard is some sort of AI company.
Yeah, that's right. There's a really funny story. So Emily also told me that initially she wants a billboard said not AI but AR.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I think that's smart. A good idea. But I think, my God, there are so many AI companies in the Silicon Valley, so I don't want to be so intimidating, AI. But still, AI is the hottest topic in the valley. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of AI and what Meta is doing with their wearable device, right, which is a functionally an AI product, right, because
Hmm.
they're using the cameras to be aware of the world. The new one has a little micro display in it. Is VITURE heading in a direction where you're going to leverage some of that kind of understanding and make products in that vein, or are you going to stick with the idea of this is for gamers and people watching movies and people connecting whatever their device that they're taking on a plane or a train or a bus or wherever they're sitting in their office and they want a big display? Is that your direction still? Like, are you moving into the, let's call it smart glass direction, or are you staying with the idea of display glasses and refining those?
Actually, in the long term, we're heading there, but not in the short term. So we believe
Got
that
it.
maybe within 10 years, these two kind of product gonna be different products. Like people
Hmm.
need, display glasses and the AI glasses separately. We believe that this gonna be merged, like maybe in 10 years or 20 years. But right now, technology-wide, is not possible. Yeah, you see,
So what do
like,
you see are the shortcomings? Yeah, what do you see as the problems with today's version of this that you're
of
going to try and
course.
solve in a longer term?
Yeah, of course. You see, like the Meta Ribbon display, it is a monocular display, and it's only have like I guess it's 18 or 20 field of view, and also like the
Yeah,
the display quality is not that good for video consumption and gaming.
right.
So compared to our glasses, the gap is so huge. So I think we need like at least 5 or 10 years to fill the gap.
Hmm.
And there's a benchmark we believe that because nowadays what's the traditional devices you consume this content, right? I think the traditional is the monitor, right? The TV and maybe the projector. On the glasses, the reason why people need another device to consume this content is that they're gonna have superior experience on your device. So I think this is the benchmark, right? The monitor or like the gaming monitor and the really large and the premium TV, that's the benchmark. That's the benchmark. We're not
Roni,
comparing to any other like AR, VR devices, right? We're comparing to those benchmarks. So I think our experience need to be more advanced than those devices and the larger FOV and the clear image quality and the better color correction then those.
well, Roni would have a thing or two to say about that because of his heritage building the Magic Leap, right? So he
Yeah.
knows a thing or two about what you're talking about.
Let me ask you a question. Are your main users, are they gamers like who want to game somewhere else? Like, they might have a rig at home, but is this like they're on the train or somewhere and then this is their portable gaming rig, or is this becoming the gaming system for home?
Yeah, good question. So initially, we designed a product for that, for those scenarios, because we see like, I'm also a gamer, but it's really tough to play because I'm a fan of the sports game, like a FIFA and 2K, right? But I find out it's really tough to play those games on your mobile phone, right? But nowadays, a lot of people just like they play mobile phones a lot. So we think, okay, how we can make people to play those console games on the go, anywhere, anytime, right? So this is the initial idea. But from the data on the back end, we see that like still people play their majority of the time at home. We provide the mobility for users, but there's a mobility at house or in their home, right? So I think they can play anywhere, like in a car, right? So somewhere without a display, but they can lay there really comfortable, and then they can play any game. And we think there's also a social pressure at home, right? So if you play like a console games on your TV, like you got a social pressure from your wife and your kids. So like for male, and then they can wear glasses and no one else can interrupt them, and
Bother
then
you?
yeah, that's right, and then they can play even on the bed or in their yard or in their balcony. So I think the like in-home mobility, that's also really important. But more importantly is that this device becomes a must-to-have device on the go. You know.
So it sounds like the Valve Steam Deck or Nintendo Switch, like somehow that portable thing could merge with what you're doing. Like, yeah, I can imagine like what you're building in Nintendo, and you have like a portable Switch, and you don't need the TV screen anymore, and like, but you don't want as you said, your family, like, why are you playing Zelda? You're 41, you shouldn't be playing Zelda. So you just, no one knows what you're doing. You're playing Zelda, except they see your controller. But so it's more of like personal. So classic video game, large screen. I could see that. That was a segment we studied as an early adopter. But your belief is that you slice the loaf of bread, that you kind of have all these different devices, and in one day they all remerge back into one. That's kind of what your view is?
Yeah, exactly. So initially, VITURE is the first eyewear glasses support all those handheld gaming consoles, the Steam Deck. So that's why the product, display glasses sales surge after that. Because like finally you have something like the gaming console's power, and then in hand, in mobility. The beauty part is the computing power and also the choices and the collections of all the games, all the AAA games, finally. But there are still the limitation of the screen size. So the glass itself provide a perfect match for Steam Deck. And also, but Nintendo Switch is a little tricky because like you can't do the direct support for the Switch, so you have to invent adapter. So finally, we call a mobile dock. It's also a best-selling adapter for the XR glasses for Nintendo Switch. And because there's a lot of co-op plays on the Nintendo Switch, so we also support two glasses to play Switch game together. And especially this year, Nintendo Switch 2 launched. So I think this is a really great product because the computing power is insane. So you can play Cyberpunk 2077 on that small device at a really good, gorgeous display there. There's a need or even more need for people to have the glasses to enjoy the immersion for those
One
games.
more quick question for you.
Sure.
My favorite question. Why would, this has been my fight since I started in this field, but why would someone pick what you're doing, augmented reality, versus simply putting on a Quest virtual reality to game that way? What's the advantage you see putting on the glasses versus like the big headset or a Vision Pro?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of people ask that. I think first of all, the PPD, right? So the VR is not designed for a screened experience. It's designed for all immersion. So the FOV is a killer for the VR, but not for the PPD, right? The PPD is around 20 to 30. So the clarity and the brightness for the VR, our device has a better clarity and a better PPD on the device.
For our listeners, PPD for those non-technical stands for pixels per degree. Basically, it's the amount of pixels you squeeze out of the display to give it the fidelity, the look of clarity is what we call PPD, pixels per degree of view.
I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this about the displays, which are Sony displays. VITURE glasses, you can wear them outdoors. They are so bright that they occlude everything around them if you want, right? So you can have that option. But the Sony displays are really, really nice and bright. So I think that's sort of like the one thing you have to get right. Like if you don't get that right, it doesn't matter that it has all these other features. The second thing I wanted to say, and I love the fact that you are in Best Buy, because up until now, you can't try the glasses. So before you buy a $600 premium experienced gaming accessory, essentially, people need to try them, and they're not enough in the wild like a Nintendo Switch that you could hand it to your friend and they could experience it. So this is a way for people to kind of try before they buy and really get a firsthand look at how good the device is for video consumption as well as playing games. A final thing, and you haven't mentioned this yet, is the ability to do 3D while you're wearing the glasses. You can, so I'm obsessed with going through my Apple photo library in 3D. And it really, really works. Yeah. It's kind of bonkers how good it is.
Yeah, because these are binocular displays, right? They're not monocular. You have a display on each eye, and they converge correctly on your eyes, and the 3D effect is actually quite good. Very powerful. Yeah.
When did you introduce 3D? Is that a new feature or have you had that feature for a while?
For a while. Actually, first of all, we launched the iOS app first. So there's no iOS app for the AR glasses existed before. So I think that's back to like almost 2 years ago when the iPhone 15 launched, because that's the first Type-C iPhone launched. And then we just want to target a lot of like iPhone users, and then they can directly port their glasses to their iPhone, and not only like for the mirror their iPhone screen, but also like open up an entire AR space. So they can access a lot of content there, and also their photo galleries, but there nothing shown on their mobile phone screen. So they have 100% full privacy in the public, and also they have a very immersive experience to enjoy their content there. And after the AI, we launched the 3D feature, which means that no matter where you are or which content you're looking at, like including your photo gallery, photos and videos, and the YouTube videos, and any like offline videos or online videos, we can convert them into 3D in real time. So this is the first ever 2D to 3D content. Because like previously, Apple launched a feature called a spatial video, right? But you have to record all the videos in new way, right? What about those previous videos? What about like the videos in 5 years or 10 years ago? Right? So
Yeah,
we
exactly.
invent this feature, and people don't need to record videos in that way, and we convert all of them. And also the portrait view videos as well. And also the like TikTok and the short videos, and you can convert all of them into 3D in real time.
Right. And it converts it on the fly in real time.
Yeah,
It's an
exactly.
impressive feature.
Yeah.
Can you play games in 3D?
Yes. Actually, at this year GTC, we demoed this feature that because Nvidia launched their 1590, which is really powerful GPU, and then we run this on 1590, and the experience really great. So the GPU render the games and then convert the games into 3D in real time. And then on the glasses, you can play the games in real time with really low latency.
Let's talk for a second about AI, because I think, help me out, David, didn't Jensen mention your headset on stage while he was talking about how XR and AI might work together?
Yeah, actually, we appear at a GTC DC. I think a lot, October, at Jensen's keynote. So this is a little different story that we collaborate with NVIDIA and Stanford for a while for the initiative of Stanford's medicine professor. He wants a set of the glasses can observe all the lab tests they have. And then there are going to be some manuals in the space because they wear gloves in the lab research environment, and they can't touch any buttons. So they can touch in the air, right? For the hygiene problem. And also the AI can give the guidance to the researcher by the AI in the cloud, and they can know each steps. And more importantly, the AI and the cameras can observe the entire process and give the researcher instant feedback in place if you make any mistake in these steps, and you have to maybe go back. So this is the way how we can make the lab research process smoothly and even more efficiently than before. Like right now, we reduce the research entire process by half, but we believe we can reduce that by 90% in future by the power of the AR and AI.
The glasses are doing hand tracking now, right? You've got some external facing cameras, and it's enabling them to follow your hands without any devices. I guess you have an app called Spacewalker that enables that.
Yes, a neckband, right? So the unique part of the VITURE is that we have a neckband. Really lightweight, is only 160 grams, and there's a compute and a connectivity and the battery inside, 4 hours battery inside. So you still get a hands-free full AR experience, but this is like a standalone device together with the glasses and neckband. But for all the display glasses, there's no battery, no compute on that. You have to tether to any other devices. So this is the way you can have like all-in-one experience with a lightweight solution.
So I have two, let's call them CEO level questions for you that I'm very curious as to where your answer goes. Because this is stuff certainly Roni and Charlie and I think about all the time. And it's always interesting when we get a founder and a CEO of a company that's actually pursuing this stuff to give us the real answer on this. Do you as a company, or do your company officers track the usage of the device and what we call the fall off of the device, where people will buy these devices, and we're seeing this a lot. They'll buy them, they'll get excited about them for a little bit, and then they cannot find the utility and the comfort level that they want. So the device ends up sitting in its little case. And we see this with both virtual reality and mixed reality, but a lot with mixed reality right now because of the way that the devices are designed and their overall comfort and use case falls off quickly. Do you as a CEO trying to grow your business, do you track that? Do you track user dynamics and what type of customers are using the device on a regular basis? Do you even track your employees that obviously own units, I would presume? Everyone probably has units. Do you track how often they use them and how sticky they are? So that's the first question. And then I'll give you another question.
Yeah, so first of all, we don't track any personal information because we don't have account system. We don't know who you
Right.
are, right? And where you are. So we just track a general data for the device, the retention rate and the activities. So we found really good data based on our data. Right now, on average daily time for active users, on average, they use 2 hours and 50 minutes a day, which means that they maybe enjoy a full movie or like a 3 episode of a TV show or play games for that amount of time. And for our 5%, the top 5% of the active users every day, they play even more than, on average, play more than 10 hours of the glasses.
Well,
Yeah, so we check those data many times, but this data just keep that in that level across year and year. So
Right.
we
So there's
think,
our answer, Charlie. These things are secretly sticky, we would say. They don't get a lot of reports on how sticky they are, but if you've got power users using these devices 8-10 hours a day, that is similar to smartphone usage for a power user, right? That they're literally holding and looking at that device throughout their entire day. So that's
yeah,
pretty interesting.
exactly. But like recently we launched our Luma Ultra, right? Like this is like a super sharp, super clear display, and you also use the latest, the Sony's display, which is gorgeous. Because I used to play Counter Strikes too before, right? But right now I started to play the Counter Strike on that glasses. It just blew me away by myself because like my performance has been enhanced after I use the glasses because I use the Apple display there. Compared to the Apple display, my performance is even higher than the physical monitor. I play that for hours. I think this is the way how people get obsessed and immersed in those devices, and then very easily, if they are like professional players or like high school students and college students, they're really easily to spend 8 hours or 10 hours a
So it
day on that.
sounds like if you are a gamer, like one
Hmm.
category,
Right.
and you really love games and you have the gear and you're also willing to put on glasses, that subset is where you have like the real traction. That's like your
Exactly.
first, that's the market that's winning. And they're like, because once you game, if you're really obsessed with the game, you will go for hours and hours. And like,
Right.
you're finding your kind of cult, which is interesting.
Yes.
what do you think the combination of, because we know what the combination of AI and the smart display, smart glasses without a display. So when you add a display and you add AI, what is the potential for gaming and other applications?
For gaming, I think there's two things we can do with AI. One is that we can convert any content into 3D. I think that's definitely something people need. So that's why people, if you go to like a movie theater, there's a 3D version, there's a 2D version. Which one you want to choose? There are always 3D versions sold out, right? Well, you have to choose the 2D version. So I think people really prefer the 3D content and they want to pay the premium for that. But what about like a personal entertainment, right? So like if you watch any NBA games or football games, and they're in 3D in real time, people gonna love the experience, and they will never ever go back, right? So for me, I watch a lot of 3D content on the glasses, and when I watch the 2D content, I feel okay. So I feel like a downgrade experience. So I think that with the AI later on, like a lot of content can be converted into 3D. So we can also call that AIGC, right? So this is like a generated by AI natively. And the second is that the AI can do a lot of, just like Android XR, Gemini show us, is that with a lot of digital content and real content, if you have any question, you can ask the AI in the cloud. So we have an engine we call it, because a lot of gamers to play games on the glasses, right? We have a engine is called a Wizard. It's like the Witcher and the Wizard. If you play a game and you can find a way to get through, you can just ask a direct question. So how can I find those, and how can I conquer this boss? And then they can immediately give you the answer. So because like we do the multimodal, we recognize which page you are in, and at which episode of the game, at which stage and which boss you want to kill, and then they search in the back end and then give you the answer immediately. Yeah, so I think this gaming engine really works. Yeah, I
And
just find it really,
you have a
really useful.
number of SKUs on the glasses, right? You have a number of different products at a slightly different price range. Can you tell our listeners like your offerings, your current offerings, and where they price out?
Yeah, so this year we launched our Luma series. The Luma basic version is $399, and the Luma Pro is $499, and the Luma Ultra is $599. So right now, something is out of our expectation is the Luma Ultra is the best seller.
So people are not as price sensitive as you thought. They actually want the better performing product, and they're happy to spend the extra $200. And what are the differences? What do they get for the extra $200?
The Luma Ultra has 3 cameras in the front, and it supports hand tracking, 6 off.
Right. So you get
Yeah, 6 off. And this result surprised me. I think main reason is that people are really willing to get real AR experience right now, but not 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe right now people really want to have something new. Yeah, because like with the Luma Ultra, we just launched like a holiday season app. A lot of people play that. It's like, you can draw something in the space. We call it Dream Canvas, right? And then people really enjoying that app. This is like a total new experience. You can never ever get this experience on your right now the devices like a mobile phone or a TV or a computer, but you can only get that on the AR devices. But still, it's not a selling point, or it's not 100% thing you're gonna pay for, right? It's like a bonus, right? You pay for a gaming device, you pay for a video device, you pay for a productivity device, and then as a bonus, like those, like 120% of the 20%, and then you can get is the AR experience, and people really enjoy it. And we also develop an app. We can record everything not only on the glasses, the first person view, but also on iPhone, the third person view, because you can include yourself and the AR and the real environment together, and then share them on the social medias, and people really love it.
What you and I are wearing right now, for anyone not watching us,
Yeah,
just regular glasses.
yeah,
Let's say 90 to 100 degree diagonal field of view,
yeah.
retina resolution, perfectly transparent, weighs 60, 70 grams, runs all day,
Mm-hmm.
has camera sensors. How many years away from your perspective? And the price of $499, $599. Like, when does that happen? Because I always
The
had
Holy
that
Grail.
as the target where that's 1 billion people using it.
That's the holy grail.
How far away in your mind is something like that?
It depends on which component you want to have on the glasses. I think in conclusion, there are 4 components, right? I mean, like the videos in and out, right? And the audio in and out, which is the display, the camera, the microphone, and the speaker. If we want to have 4 of them together, just like a Meta Ray-Ban display, I believe more than 15 or 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really hard.
Charlie,
And
you're on
David,
mute.
what is the amount of money? Because you're in this field, and I want to get your perspective. There's at least been 100 billion spent only by Meta Reality Labs.
Yeah, exactly.
Apple at least is 50 billion, 60 billion at this point.
Yeah.
Magic Leap's probably spent $3+ billion. Probably many companies in China and Japan and Taiwan and Korea have spent tens of billions collectively, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this harder than going to space? It costs less money for Elon Musk. Elon Musk got a rocket into space for $100 million investment for SpaceX. Why is this so hard? Like, for our listeners, because you lived this, I lived it, but your perspective, why is this harder than actually launching satellites into space?
I think you're the person I want to ask this question for.
Well, I want to get your view. I know my view, but I want to get your view.
Yeah. So yeah, I think fundamentally, on the glasses, people want to get a better experience for the mobile phone, right? This is the first. Otherwise, why you want another device on your face, right? So because you already have the mobile phone, and if you want to have something more than a mobile phone, and that's by nature the glasses advantage is that you can have a limited FOV, gonna cover all your FOV of your human eyes. So I think this is the huge compute power you need on the glasses. And at the same time, the glasses we're wearing right now is like a 20 gram, 30 grams, right? At maximum, you can have that. But for the mobile phone, most of the mobile phone right now, like my iPhone, is like a 230 grams. So that's the level.
And most of that weight is the battery, right?
Exactly.
Most of that weight is the battery.
Exactly the same thing, right? So exactly. So if you want to have like the same compute and the same experience on par with the mobile phone, theoretically you're gonna have like a 230 grams on your face. But right now, what we want is 20 grams. So this is the gap we need to fill. And this is we're not talking about even more advanced feature on the glasses than the mobile phone, right? We need multiple cameras on the glasses to do the spatial computing. We need a larger FOV, like infinite canvas, than the mobile phone. We need to do the hand tracking. We need to do the eye tracking. Those are things not exist for the mobile phone, right? So I think this is the math, right? So
okay, so for all of us here, this is an interesting philosophical question that I'm going to ask both David and Roni specifically, because you guys are talking about something that I have thought about so many cycles, is this very basic flaw dynamic of until we can solve all those problems and actually make them really look like glasses, feel like glasses, and weigh like glasses, why are we trying to design them to look like glasses? Because there's so many limitations. There's weight structure issues, right, where everything gets so front weighted that there's nothing on the back to balance them. They never really look like glasses because you've got, these bird bath displays that cover your eyes, and people aren't really wearing them to walk around all day. They may be sitting in the train playing their game, absolutely, but they're not like glasses. So why aren't we designing them for the next 5 to 10 years more like visors that give us the opportunity to give more screen real estate and more usability until we can get to the day that they have to look like glasses? Why does every manufacturer, and Roni, this is to you, and David, to you, and every other company that's trying to do this, why do we always get obsessed with trying to make them look like glasses when they're not glasses yet? This is my philosophical challenge. Yeah. I would love to hear the answer.
Let me jump in.
With David. Start with David.
Let me jump in for one hot second just to supplement that question a little bit, because I am a guy, I've had the glasses for, I don't know, a year, and since last Christmas. So I've got the glasses, and as I said, I really like them. Their brightness is unmatched. And I can go for a dog walk and actually not kill myself, because the lower half of the glasses, while you're wearing them, yes, they look like sort of fat Ray-Bans, if you will, but while you're wearing them, you're not fully occluded. Even at the brightest screen level that has, some level of, blocking out physical reality, still the ground and the dog and the street and everything I need to see to keep me from stumbling on my face, you can see. And I think that's a real advantage. You can wear the glasses, you can see your hands on your keyboard, right? So it isn't really that kind of fully occluded Apple experience. It really does give you a way to shift between physical reality and digital reality. So I don't know.
Let's have David answer.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think just like the headphone, right? So like the headphone we're wearing, exist for many years until we have the AirPods, they were the earbuds, right? So I think this is the way how technology evolved along the way. Is if you trace back when the headphone invented and the earbuds invented, it's like 20 or 30 years. So I think right now we need to have something like a headphone first, just like a goggle or the visor, right? Because we design something for human, right? Ergonomically, there's a three threshold for the weight of the things like people can endure on their face. First threshold is the everyday glasses, like Ronnie just asked. So the glasses we're wearing right now, the threshold is 40 grams. So if any glass is more than 40 grams, you just can't wear them all day long. So, that's the fact. And the second threshold is the glasses we're building right now. It's the visor or goggle or something. You just put it on for immersive experience, and then you just put it off. You don't wear them all day long. That's the 80 grams. 80 gram is the threshold. If you design something at 100 grams, you think, okay, this is just like 20 grams more, but that's impossible. Yeah, if you wear that
Right.
100 grams thing for 1 hour, you just feel uncomfortable. Yeah. So another one, the third one is the 200 grams for the headset. It's not a glasses or a goggle or visor. It's like a headset, like just embrace all your head, and then you have more places to release the pressure of on your nose and on your ears. This is like a 200 grams. So I think there's a three thresholds there. So we can build VR glasses or headset, and then right now is the goggle and the visor, and then eventually we get into the glasses style, everyday glasses, and the headset and or the device evolve along the way from the VR to the glasses.
So again, what is that overwhelming need to make the form factor look like glasses when today our threshold is over 100 grams? And you just talked about it. Like those are purpose specific use cases, right? They're not wearing them every day, all day. So why do they have to look like glasses? Is it just because historically this is what we wear on our face?
No, Ted, I think
I just struggle with it. I struggle with
I
it.
agree with David's
Mhm.
segmentation, which I feel like we're kicking a puppy, but like, for the guys at Apple, total shame for releasing the Vision Pro at such high weight,
Right.
knowing that anyone in the field really knows this. And like, you have all the money in the world. And how did you release something over 200 grams? Moving on.
Exactly.
I think
Moving
what's
on.
really interesting is like, I agree with David, like that 40-gram glasses every day, all day. I do think there should be creative exploration. If you believe David's take that it's another decade to really refine all the components, there should be some relaxation of form factor in the 80 to 200 gram space. And I think, David, you or others in that sector could probably find a sweet spot that really is like, earbuds don't look like, Sennheisers,
Mhm.
the pro audio ones. I mean, I think there's going to be the spectrum, and redefine that middle spectrum. It may be there forever. Once you get
Right.
everything to 40 grams, there'll be more things you want to put into 200 grams and 150 and 80. So I think like these weight categories could unlock a lot of design exploration now that people really understand the ergonomics. Like they're almost indisputable at this point. So it's interesting to see where designers go. Maybe they can be liberated and glasses are, 40, 60 grams and below, and everything up, like do something innovative. I mean, that would be really
Well,
interesting to see what happens.
I really like the design ethics of the latest Oakley Meta partnership. Not the small ones, but the actual visor ones that are really sports oriented. The thing is, they're not taking full advantage of all that real estate yet. They're the same glasses, the same tech.
Mhm.
They're just using bigger lenses to make it look cool. But the unlocked potential of giving a design cue that gives you 6 times more physical real estate on your face, when they figure out how to use all that real estate, to me, that is the right design cue, not for 20 years. I believe in 20 years, David's right. We will solve them and they will look like our glasses and we'll use them in those functional ways. But the middle ground needs to be more of a shield, more of a sports style look, just because it gives you more real physical real estate to solve
And
the
and Ted,
problem.
to product design a little bit for David with David, if you ever went in that direction, you could imagine gaming in like an IMAX theater that has that
Totally.
like Cinerama wraparound, 180 wraparound, 100
Right.
degree vertical, 180 horse, and then you are so past anything you're going to buy at home. And you could probably influence the shape of where Alienware and other guys go. I think the next 10 or 20 years absolutely has that. And if you have the gamers, you should seize that and really take it to that next level of we're not just as good or slightly better than the big TV, but we're just going way past that. I think you could rock that market. So
we're coming up on the hour. I do have one final question. We haven't touched on this, which is Android XR. So how are you going to incorporate Android XR, and what do you think it's going to do to the category?
Good question.
Yeah, I think Android XR is a destiny that we're going to have the best ecosystem in the world. Because the neckband right now is something you can consider as Android XR, because this is a Google certified product, and we have all the Google Play, Google Store there where people can access millions of the apps. So I think this is why neckband get really popular among consumers. So I think Android XR is that Google take a step forward that officially they make a operating system and all the native apps for the XR devices. So I think this is going to be beneficial for all the consumers, and especially when you experience the Google Map, right? But on a neckband is a Google ecosystem device, but without any native AR apps. But for the Android XR, if you have experienced the Gear VR, recently just launched by Samsung and Google, the Google Map get really gorgeous, right? This is all AR experience Google Map there. So we believe there are going to be more and more AR native app launched by Google, by their YouTube, by their map, or even Gmail. I think this is going to increase adoption of the XR devices even further next year.
We agree.
Yeah.
We agree with you.
That is a great place for us to wind up the podcast. Let me just indulge me for a second, guys, because it is Thanksgiving, and I don't hold personally enough gratitude in my heart. And I really want to bring that into the forefront of my life and acknowledge all the people and all the things that make it so rich and make me so excited when I get out of bed in the morning. So I made a little top 10 list. I put it on LinkedIn of all places, which I don't know is kind of bonkers because LinkedIn is a place where we generally reserve for business as opposed to some other social platforms. But I didn't really want this for the other social platforms. I wanted it for those of us in the field who are working every day. So let me give you my top 10 things that I'm grateful for. And I really, really hope I can keep these in the front of my mind and not in the back of my mind in 2026. So number one, of course, would be my 41 years of marriage to my wife, who I guess she and I, after 44 years together, really are kind of the same person. We have 3 kids and 3 grandkids that I'm deeply grateful for. One of the things that guides me as my North Star is learning every day and being able to teach what I've learned. To have earned the respect of my colleagues and to have the opportunity to be creative, I think is something everyone should aspire to. It just makes your life so rich. And you do, again, appreciate things, especially you guys. So I would say my co-hosts, our guests, our listeners, you guys are important to me in my life. The other thing I want to be grateful for is second, third, and fourth chances. At our age, and none of us on the call, except for David, of course, is young. You need a lot of chances to succeed in life. You don't get one to be relevant. You have to get chances and you have to capitalize on them over and over again. So I am grateful that I am relevant to something larger than myself. And I want to keep that in the front of my mind every day in 2026 and talk to you guys in 2026 Thanksgiving and say, I was better at that this year. I was more thankful this year to be able to have conversations like this with my friends every week and to learn something every week. And of course, David, you've been a great guest and taught us so much in the past 40 minutes. My God, I'm going to reflect on this all weekend. But thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great holiday season. We'll see you back here next week in December 2025. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Bye.